This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and I am so beyond excited to be able to interview Monty Franklin. Hello, Monty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Where are you right now?
I'm at my mate's place in San Diego, California.
Your accent, impersonating is quite good.
Yeah, I like to put on the American accent every now and then and freak people out. Freak myself out, actually.
What's your favorite sentence?
Hey, I don't know. Let's make one up. Let's see. Hey, Billy, bro, let's go down the lake this summer and go chug some beers. But I don't know.
That's really good. That's really good.
A douchebag American bro.
I love it.
Where are you? You're in Canada, right?
I'm in Canada. I'm just outside of Toronto.
Yeah, you're the nicer North Americans.
Speaking of douchebags who don't want to come to Canada, I hear you toured with Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Oh, is he a douchebag who doesn't want to go to Canada?
Yeah, he there's a UFC tournament in Montreal, and he refuses to come.
I don't think he likes to go internationally at all anymore because it's just such a nightmare for him because of his profile and everything. But I went to Canada with him 5 years ago. We did shows in Winnipeg. So he's not anti-Canada. I think he's just anti-traveling because it bothers the shit out of him, to be honest.
Oh, is it like an anxiety thing?
No, I think it's more about that he has to. Well, he doesn't have to, but it's a lot easier for him to fly private because of if he's walking through airports and stuff, the presence that he has and the people that come up to him and stuff, it is a lot. Like it's way more than it ever used to be. And so it's just at a point where he doesn't want to have to deal with that anymore, and he doesn't have to. But I think people might perceive that as him not wanting to go to Canada or stuff. He didn't go to Australia for the fights either. And people thought, oh, he snubbed us. But it's just hard, very hard for him. I mean, he's almost bigger than the UFC. In fact, he probably is. So it's just very hard for someone like that to do things that we take for granted sometimes.
It's kind of like Michael Jackson when he shut down a grocery store so that he can experience what it's like to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, and that's not the experience that the rest of us have. An empty grocery store where you don't have to fight someone in the cereal aisle to get a look. But it's very different, and not many people will experience that kind of scrutiny, that kind of fame, that kind of eyeballs on you, that kind of every movement of yours is being looked at and watched and everything. And I've been around it a little bit with Joe and with some other sort of celebrities, and it's a very different. Every day is a different experience than what we are sort of having here. You don't get anything personal to yourself, but with that comes riches and untold, things in your career that you can progress to and fulfillment and everything of that nature. But it's pretty tough.
It must be tough. I can imagine how him just being inquisitive and asking people questions on his podcast, and people are thinking that that's the Joe Rogan law now, and it's like, well, he can interview one person saying one thing and interview another person saying another, and he's just trying to be informed.
Yeah, he's just a curious person. He's actually one of the most lovely people I've ever met and hung around. He's very grounded. He knows who he is. He knows what he brings to himself, to a room, to a conversation. He's very, as a male adult, to look up to other male adults is sometimes difficult. And almost like I don't have a father, so looking for father figures in my career and around the place it's interesting sometimes, but to find people like that I really respect, and I like his outlook on a lot of things. We differ on things, as if you're going to differ on things with friends. There's going to be things that you disagree on. Otherwise, you're not having real conversations or friendships with people. So, but overall, he's one of the loveliest people I've ever met. Generous and kind, and yeah, a very good mentor and friend.
Amazing. Speaking of father figures, John Cleese, you were
Uh,
able to tour with him. What was
he,
that like?
he's the greatest. And so we wrote a film together, John and I, with Rob Schneider, that we're filming in Australia next year. But I was lucky enough to kind of live in Scottsdale, Arizona, with Rob and John there for about 6 weeks while we wrote this film. And I got to spend a lot of time with John, just us at dinner and talking about life and comedy and everything. And he's just one of those people that I'm very, very grateful and lucky to call a friend. He called me up just the other day just to chat and laugh, and to hear John Cleese laugh down the phone and enjoy his chat just for half an hour is one of the greatest thrills of my life. It's so great.
Because you probably grew up with his movies and Monty Python and everything, eh?
Of course, I was very much Faulty Towers. I would watch that with my mum, and then obviously Monty Python, but more so for me, it was Faulty Towers, and then a lot of Fish Called Wanda and his movies and stuff like that. And then, yeah, to spend time with him, to be able to share a stage with him, to write a film with him, and it's there's a couple of things in my life, in my career, that I pinch myself about, and that's definitely one of them.
For sure. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
How do you stay sane on tour?
I drink a lot. No, um, I exercise a lot. The key to staying sort of sane and with different time zones and everything like that is as soon as I land somewhere, I will go to the gym and just get a workout in so that I feel reset. And that keeps me, I think, has kept me grounded and sane and on some sort of schedule, because otherwise you're in a new city every night. There's no routine. It's the only real routine that you can keep on the road besides doing the shows. So that has kept me sort of regimented through some of these long tours and stuff like that.
For sure. For sure. What do you find the differences between Aussie audiences and American audiences?
Australians are much tougher audiences than Americans. Australians are funny people. Americans are funny too, but Australians are very funny people, very silly, very larrikiny. So everyone thinks they're a comedian. So if you get up on stage saying, I'm going to tell jokes and entertain you, they will be like, oh, you think you're funny, do you? And you have to prove to them that you are. And then they'll love you forever and they're great and awesome. But you have to win them over first. Americans will give you the benefit of the doubt first and go, oh, we'll give them a go. And then you can show that you're half decent at what you do. And they'll go, oh, he's actually very good. That's good. But it can be a fight in Australia sometimes to win an audience over. And I grew up sort of or started in comedy there. So I've worked up in the harshest environment possible. So I would beg to differ that there's nothing that can shake me now.
The most challenged. That's wonderful. I do find my local boys are my worst critics as well. Going to other cities, they're definitely more welcome. It's fresh, it's new, it's interesting. But then you go back home and they're like, oh, bring it. What do you got? Kind of thing. I absolutely understand.
Your home is always the hardest one in the end to prove yourself in. Everyone says that, musicians, comedians, everyone, your hometown is the last one that will kind of embrace you. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Some of your wonderful stuff is crowd work. Do you have preset crowd work conversations, or is it just sort of natural experience, like your underpants buddy just happened to be in the audience that day.
I didn't set that up. That was great, but no, I don't do a lot of crowd work. I think on my last tour, I opened up with about 10 minutes of just asking the audience, introducing myself, and being a little bit more conversational with them. And because in the last couple of years, I've had a lot of international people come to my shows, and I'm interested why that is happening, why someone from Germany wants to come and see my stand-up, why someone from Zurich, Switzerland wants to come and see my stand-up. And they're usually learning English, and they find it very a very good way to learn English, to watch a public speaker doing English and stuff like that. And I find that very interesting. So I started sort of inquiring about it. And then one of my things that I would like to do is give a foreigner who's in the crowd of Australia in particular, like there was a German guy that you're talking about in that respect, who'd only been there a day, and I gave him an Australian nickname, and then he thought it was fun and we were laughing and stuff. And then I told him about my friend Undies. And then I inquired whether Undies was there, because I didn't know if he was, but I assumed that he might be, because there was 2,000 people in my hometown. I thought, oh, maybe Undies came. So I asked, and he was sitting right behind him. And it kind of startled me. And I went, whoa, you're right there. It was just fun. It was a fun moment. And sometimes those with crowd work, those interactions when you as a performer are also surprised and excited and entertained, it's just fun. But I don't do a lot of it. It's not like my whole show is crowd work. I wish it was. You'd be doing a new sort of show every night if I was as well as crowd work inclined as someone like Matt Rife or something. But yeah.
Social media must help your career so much, and like the candy tasting and all of that. Did you find getting involved in social media difficult?
Yeah, I mean, it's what everyone, or entertainers, musicians, artists, everyone who's trying to get their art out to the world, their creative expression out to the world. We now have the ability to reach large audiences without the aid of needing an agent or a TV show or some kind of vessel or movie or whatever it used to be. And now people are trying to find that, because there's so much available to people to see, how do you stand out? How are you different? How do people gravitate towards you? And for a long time, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get people to watch what I was doing and stuff like that. And you get disheartened by it. But I realized that when I started to do stuff that I just really enjoyed and didn't worry too much about how people perceived it, that's when people started taking notice of it. And so I just kept doing these videos where I was explaining what Australian slang words mean, because every day in America I find something new that I say that someone goes, what is that? And I have to explain myself. So I started making these almost tutorials for either the rest of the world to know what Australians are saying, or for Australians to understand that some of our words overseas aren't going to make any sense to people. And then people gravitated towards that and really started liking them. And then it, and then you find a bigger audience. And last year I did a tour in Europe for the first time, and I sold out 2 shows in Zurich and 2 in Amsterdam and Berlin and Copenhagen, like places I never would have been able to go to without the ability of the reach of social media. So it's really cool. And it's cool that you're kind of in control of your creative output a little bit more.
For sure, for sure. Have you on your tours met anyone that has left you starstruck? Any celebrities?
Yeah, I mean, I get starstruck all the time. I've been lucky enough to meet and hang out and spend time with Adam Sandler, and he's my all-time hero. And I still get starstruck by him, and I've known him for years. But I still just go, it's Adam, there he is. And then a couple of times I saw Quentin Tarantino at the Comedy Store, and that kind of, I was like, whoa, that's, one of the greatest directors ever, and a very interesting and artistic human being. I've met a lot of people that have sort of blown me away, and but they're all, when I meet them, they're kind of in circumstances where I'm performing and I'm comfortable. And it's kind of I saw Quentin Tarantino at the Comedy Store, and I was performing there and I'm comfortable there. So I didn't feel massively in awe and starstruck. I have sometimes when I've been at concerts or stuff and seen Metallica, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Metallica. But it's out of my comfort zone too. So I'm also just out in the wild. But I've been pretty lucky to meet a lot of interesting and cool people. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Absolutely. I went to a Kiss concert, and I was right beside the little podium that Gene Simmons zip-lined down to the podium. And I was standing right there, and I didn't know he was going to do that. And it was incredible. And this man's in his 70s, for Pete's sakes, and he's zip-lining in platforms. It was amazing.
He's like 7 foot tall, too.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Fly past you.
Well, Monty, I think you're an absolute delight. I can't thank you enough for your time. And if you can just let us know, how do we follow your tour? Is it the Monty Franklin website?
Yeah, Monty Franklin on everything, on Instagram and all the things. It's just my name, Monty Franklin, and you'll be able to find out where I am and what I'm doing. I got a big tour starting in August. It'll go right through to February. I'm doing about 50, 60 cities around the world. So it's going to be a lot. Very, very cool. And if you can just say one last thing, if you can say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload. I do love Newsload. Thank you, Monty. I hope you have a great day. No worries. Thanks, Carrie.
This is the Newsload.